Здравствуйте. Сегодня в продолжении темы организации питания зрителей, объединяя две темы, которые были на лекциях отдельно про concessions, кафе, быстрого обслуживания на аренах, отдельно про VIP-ложи. Все это объединяет интервью двух людей, которые сами организуют работу ресторанов, concessions, VIP-лож на аренах. Роджерс Плейс арена – это старший шеф-повар Антонио Тарди. И в Торонто Скошебанк арена Крис Зелински. Причем Крис, он кулинарный директор нескольких арен сразу. Это арена по сокеру, по футболу, арена, где играет фарм-клуб Торонто Мэпл Ливс, и непосредственно Скошебанк арена со всеми ресторанами. Помимо трех больших арен, это еще 5 больших ресторанов, где он организует питание, и все VIP-ложи, все это под его началом. В интервью опытнейшие и очень эффективные менеджеры расскажут, как строится внутри процесс, какие преодолеваются трудности, как наиболее эффективно подходить к организации работы. Это интервью заслуживает своего внимания, потому что тот же арена в Эдмонтоне, как я говорил, одна из самых эффективных в национальной хоккейной лиге. Там применяются самые новые инструменты. Используется то, что арена новая, учли опыт предыдущей работы как старой арены, так и многих арен в НХЛ и в других аренах, других видах спорта. Заслуживает своего внимания подход, и надеюсь, что будет очень любопытно послушать от первого лица, что чувствуют и как работают шеф-повара, они же менеджеры, по организации питания зрителей. В Торонто Скошебанк арена сделана очень грамотно, эффективно. За один вечер, при том, что вместимость арены порядка 17 тысяч зрителей, продает 14 тысяч блюд. На первом этаже расположено 18 точек питания concessions. К слову, всего 14 разных разновидностей видов concessions, вот кафе быстрого питания. 12 кафе на самом верхнем этаже. Посередине, как мы видели в лекции предыдущей, располагаются VIP-ложи, клубы, которые тоже приносят очень большой доход. Если говорить в абсолютных цифрах, то первый этаж concessions приносит за один вечер 450 тысяч долларов. 200 тысяч приносит самый верхний этаж, и 200 тысяч за один вечер приносят на питание VIP-ложи. Это помимо тех пакетов меню, которые изначально входят в стоимость VIP-ложи при покупке сезонного абонемента или на одну игру. Как я говорил, есть уже отдельные пакеты. Так вот, сверх еще приносится большая сумма. 400-500 тысяч приносят рестораны, которые находятся вне арены, но тоже управляются Торонто Мэпл Ливс, МЛС организация. И без сомнения услышать интервью таких знаковых, опытнейших людей мне представляется очень интересным. Приглашаю послушать интервью этих шеф-поваров.
What is more appropriate for the arena? What are the conditions for this? So concession basically is when we're talking about concessions, we're talking about quick service restaurant, right? So QSR. So which mostly we have when it comes to concessions, we're talking about most popular food, right? We're talking about burgers, we're talking about pizzas, right? So we're talking about nachos, right? So, for example, in Edmonton, most popular dish which the fans they know is the pierogis, right? Pierogis, Ukrainian, is Ukrainian dish, but for some reason in Edmonton, there is the pierogi is very popular, right? So yeah, right. So when it comes to Rogers Place, and like if you see different arena around the world, so there is always a third party concessions brand in the building, right? So when it comes to Rogers Place, we only have a partnership with Pizza 73, which is a big local pizza restaurant chain, right? So and then most of the our food outlets, they are our own brands, right? So we have we have as I said, we have a big concession main stand, because we have concession main stand, and then we have concession portable. The portable is like it's a small food. It's more a food outlet.
I see what you mean. I see.
Yeah, right. So, and this is where on the main stand, the differences is between the main stand and the portable. On the main stands, you have the core items mostly, right? So you have a burger joint, you have burgers, you have the fries, you have the tenders, you have the nachos, right? Attached to some snacks, which are pretzels, chips, popcorn. You have hot dog, right? So basically, this is also our core items. Then based on the stands, like the menu selection is a little bit wider or smaller. When it comes to the main stands, right, you find about 8-10 items in the menu, right? Right, as I said, like the core items. When you're talking about the core items, it's always burgers, hot dogs, popcorn, fries, and tenders. So out of these dishes, then you make other more dishes, right? For example, you have the fries, and then you have the poutine. And maybe you have two kinds of poutine, right? But these are the core items, right? And then you got like the snack side, which are popcorn, pretzel, chocolate bar, chips, and so on, right? So this is basically, and then you end up to have these 10 core items, right? So when it comes to the the portable, so the portable usually is, for example, we have one item in each portable. So we have a portable that we do a prime rib sandwich, right? So we have other portable that when we have where we have a hot dog, which we have a portable is called Link 72. Link 72, we do the hot dogs. We have three, and over there we do a specialty hot dogs. You have, for example, you have a regular hot dog, then you have a rotation. Like last year we did like a menu rotation, which we have like I created Italian dog, and then you have the mac and cheese dogs, and you have the bacon wrap hot dog with caramelized onion. You know what I mean? Like so. Then we have different other portable when you have like a pierogi station, another portable, right? So then we have another portable where we do a mac and cheese, right? So you know what I'm trying to say? When it's the main stand is where all the core items needs to be, and then you have the portable, which you have one maximum 2 items, because you don't have a proper kitchen in the main stand, right? So the main stand,
storage, yeah.
Right, the story you need to thinking about all these variables to make this stand successful. You cannot put so many food items, and then the chef cannot even hold the mise en place, right? And actually, the main stand help us to the portable help us to, because you can imagine like pre-game is the majority of our business, right? The majority of our business in the arena is pre-game and first intermission.
Yes.
This is where you get 70-80% of your sales. Then second, right? So the second intermission So you get a small fraction, which the majority of the business is already done. Like the meal period is pre-game and first intermission. Then second intermission is more drinks, right? So here and there they grab a snack, right? They don't wanna. It's more quick, right? They don't stand. You don't have long line on the second intermission, right? So unless you have an A game, which you have a lot of, we have different game. You have A game, B game, and C game, right? So the like E game where you have a full house. Eventually, the second intermission also goes a little bit strong. But again, our main period is pre-game, which is a good hour, and then the first intermission, which is 20 minutes. This is where we have the majority our sale, right? And of course, when we set up the stand, we have quadrants. Because remember, the arena is a circular arena, right?
Yes.
So then we divide in quadrants, right? In 4 areas. So each areas, you need to make sure you cover all the core items. You need to make sure there's a nachos. You make sure you have the core stand full stock with the burgers and everything. And then you have portable, and the same thing also go with the drinks, right? So each quadrant has a main bar, and then you have a small portable that they give. They give. You know what I mean? Like, because you need to imagine, like, if a fans is to the north side, you don't need to travel all the way to the south side. So that's why we divide in quadrants, and we make sure the main, right? And we make sure this is very important, because when we have 80,000-90,000 fans in the arena, you won't be able to deliver a quick meal to them very easy, especially if they skip their meal on pre-game and they want to get like a burger or a nacho or a sandwich on the first intermission. You want to make sure within 20 minutes he grab the meal, he eat it, he drink the beer, and go to sit. Because they coming to the arena to see the game. Right, it's not like I'm the arena for their dinner. So we need to make sure that we deliver quick and fast within these 20 minutes, and make sure that each section of the arena, because remember it's two level, right? 3 level basically. Well, the third level is more the club, is a different thing. Here we have more variety in the menu. I would say quality as well. So the Beyond Burger, I must say, is very good. So I love it, because it's 100% vegetarian. It gives this special texture, a little bit smoky flavor on it, and it's quite simple. Of course, the bun is local. We have the Beyond Meat, and we build it with red onions, tomato, fresh lettuce, and a lot of cheese.
I'd like to try our new Beyond Burger.
Right.
It tastes like a real burger. Yeah. It tastes really real.
Good.
Is this something
Maybe this year, so Beyond Meat is where it's at.
Of course, we kept more, the fan favorites. For example, like the hot dog. So the hot dog is there, but in addition to that, we extended the quality hot dog, right? So right now you can find on link 72, we have a bacon wrap hot dog, which is so good. Also, we have chili cheese hot dog, right? Which is very nice as well. But my favorite one is the Italian dog, which you have this beautiful frank with the bun, tomatoes, bruschetta style, parmesan cheese, a lot of basil. So refreshing, so good. Which is called Market, and we change the menu every homestand. So, for example, this month we launched the new taco rotation, which is so good. We have, of course, is always a vegetarian part and non-vegetarian part. So the vegetarian part actually is a cauliflower bacon with tandoori spice style, and there is coleslaw, there is avocado crema, fresh cilantro. You can squeeze your lime on top, and it's very nice. This is good. I did it for you. It's very good. Perfect. Please enjoy. Thank you. And then we have a chicken chipotle spice taco, which is very, very popular. Again, with the coleslaw and then the chicken and chipotle spice, and very fresh, very tasty.
And that's not all. We start with an exciting spin on an arena favorite. Top your nachos with your choice of roasted chicken, pulled pork, or barbecue chopped brisket. Plus all the traditional toppings, including guacamole and a corn and black bean relish. Not your average nachos.
Хочу спросить, могут ли фанаты заказывать с трибун до перерыва, используя смартфон?
Yeah, so yeah, we have the hub. We have the hub. This is basically is we're just beginning with this the app ordering. I'm sure next season is gonna be more active. Of course, yeah, as you said, there is always a way to cut the lines and pre-order, you grab and go, right? So we are working on that. It's not very popular right now. It's not very active, but there is this option for us, which we are working on it for sure. So the second question that you said, what is the role of the central kitchen? Well,
the separate concessions and suites.
No, okay. So, we are Rogers Place, basically, we have a lot of kitchens. So, talking with other chefs across the line of business, so there is some arenas that they don't have many kitchens. So, we have a lot of kitchens. So, what that means to us? So, that means to us we can work with quality much better, right? So we have, we have a centralized kitchen, which is mostly the centralized kitchen is for concessions and for catering, right? So catering also is a big part of our operation. Remember, catering, it does all the teams, right? The team's meal. And when you have right, so the catering, we start in the morning when there is a game day, right? So the players are in the arena from the morning. They do a practice in the morning. There's a breakfast. Then they have a light lunch. They have a pre-game, a post-game. They have a snack. It's very important, right? And then when catering also is very important for the media, right? The media, the coaches, the players, the media. We have about 100, 150.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
If we talk about media, for them is free or this service?
No, they pay. They pay. It's very is mostly a cost, right, for the media. But there is a fee also for them. So the main kitchen, as I said, we are very lucky because mostly of the main kitchen is dedicated to the concession. We have a little pastry shop, right, and the catering. So, for example. Then we have like Studio 99, which is an a la carte restaurant, which is open to public, right? But it's open to public, the fans that have a ticket, right? It's not like everybody can come. If you have a ticket and you book the restaurant, you can come. There's a special elevator that bring you up, right? It's open 2 hours before, 2 hours before the puck drop. So you can go to the restaurant. So in that case, it is called, this restaurant a la carte is called Studio 99, which is a restaurant at its own, and they have their own kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So nothing,
yes.
right?
I saw it.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
So then you have suites. The suites, which is, we have 32 suites there, right? The suites and the box. So suites, we have a dedicated kitchen for suites.
Separately.
Right? Separately. The only mise en place that the kitchen does in main kitchen is the cold prep, which is all the cheese platter, all the chilled platter, the cold section of the menu, right? Then all the hot food is made upstairs. So basically there is not much interaction on the suite on 4th floor and main kitchen when it comes to the prep, because you can imagine, so we produce so much, a huge amount of food. If everybody in main kitchen, it can be a little bit confusing. So it's not the case of Rogers Place. Rogers Place has many kitchens, right? I'm not finished. So then you have the clubs, right? So we have a tether box which is attached to the same level of the suites, right? Mm-hmm. There is a kitchen that can support them, right?
I saw it.
You saw it, right?
But it's interesting. I was surprised. It's not big kitchen. I mean.
Okay, the tether box. Okay, yeah, you're right. But the tether box actually, that little kitchen on the back is just a dish finishing, right? Because the food is made. The food is made on main kitchen downstairs for tether box, right? Because tether box and chairman, right? Tater
Yes.
box and chairman, you have two components. You have the hot and the cold, right? So the hot is done on the catering area, right? And the cold is done on the sweet area,
Yes.
right? So and then it's very easy. It's not we are not clashing basically. So then you have well, it's easy in a way that we have space. What I'm trying to say, beside the main kitchen, which is the heart of of the arena when it comes to food production, but we have many others kitchens available for the production, right?
It's a good idea.
Then
Good idea.
right. So, but as a feedback that I give to you, like I was talking with other chefs, they don't have many of these kitchens, right?
Yes.
So it's like is a at Roger's place, we can say we are a little bit lagging in a way that we have, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So as I said, this helps us to work on the quality much better because each preparation is done to an area which is not. Can you imagine you go in a kitchen where you have 180 chefs all together, one range is going to be confusing, right? First. It's going to affect. It's going to affect the production. It's going to affect the quality. It's going to affect the end of product, right? So that's why I'm proudly say that the quality of food that we have at Rogers is very, very high because we have the facilities, right? We have the facility. We have the equipment to deliver high quality standard food, right? So going back, for example, to the clubs, you have Sportsnet and Sky Lounge. So Sportsnet and Sky Lounge, right? They have the same menu, right? So the Sportsnet team, right? They do all the prep, then they divide the prep, and this way the food remains in Sportsnet, and the rest of the food is being shipped to the next level because you have four and fifth, third and fourth floor, right? So. So the role of the main kitchen is very important, but also is very important in the way you do the menus, right? So, for example, we combine. The menu items needs to be cross-fertilized. It cannot have huge, each club different menu because it's going to be very difficult then on the production time. And the quality as well, right? And also when it comes to the cost as well, right? Mm-hmm. So we try to cross-utilize as much as possible menu card, recipe, ingredient, and so on. But with of course, different food outlets have different identity, right? But the core items we try to cross-utilize across our outlet. This is kind of the smart planning that we do. At the beginning of the season, because based on that, then you, based on the menu and the production, you also be able to quantify how many people you need to work, right? So, just to give an example, like the chairman club and the theater box, they have the same hot food, right? So then when you go to the chairman, then you have one or two dishes that are a little bit more upscale because the chairman club is more upscale. But let's see, 50-60% of the items are the same than theater box. Then we can combine the production of that place.
May I ask you about these places? How many times you change menu during the season?
Well, proudly, I can tell you that we changed since I joined Roger's Place. We've been changed the menu. I can tell you right now. So we changed the menu. We start in March, right? The season. The season start in September, correct?
In the beginning of October, yeah.
Right. So you have October. September, October, right? So you have the first games. Then right away you have Christmas.
Yes.
Right? This is the first change.
Uh-huh.
Right? So then after Christmas, after December, you need to move in the new menu.
Yes.
right? Because if it's a Christmas menu with Christmas items, which you have the ham, the prime rib, and you have like the also the dessert part, right? So you have the pumpkin pies and you have the gingerbread cookies and so on. So then automatically, so after the Christmas and New Year's Eve, so right away you move to a new menu, right? So the third.
Mostly VIP-loj everywhere.
Everywhere. So concession is pretty much the same, but we change the menu items on the portables, right? Because
Yes.
when it comes to the main stand, so it's a big marketing work behind, because you have all this menu board that needs to be done. So and the core items that are already there. So what we do basically, we run specials. So in concessions, in the main stands, we have specials that change with the menu change I just told you, and also we can easily change. We do change the menus on the portables, right? Which is this is how concession basically change once, like the menu change once a year as the main, right? And then we do some changes along the way.
It makes sense. Yes.
Right. So, but sweets, we do adjustment in sweets, we do adjustment in catering, we do adjustment on the clubs, we do adjustment on chairman. And we're talking about the chairman and the clubs. They have 7 menu rotation. It's not like you change one menu. So we do like 7 menu rotation. Each game you change the menu, right? So it's a lot of planning. And as our standard, when you change a menu, it's not like you write a menu and you're done. You change a menu, then you do the food testing. Decide on the dish, then you need to do the costing, need to do the recipe card, all the bill sheet, because to put in a kitchen manual is a lot of work. So that's why I said it was quite painful. Like, it's good for the fans, but it's a lot of work on planning, right?
Yes.
So, and then we changed the menu on playoff as well, right? So 4 times this year. So usually in a restaurant you change the menu if you like it twice a year, right?
I understand what do you mean. In our restaurant, we change menu 4 times, 5 times a year. But I know what is it. I know how tough this process.
Yeah, like when it comes in Arena, it's a little bit different, because the process is a little bit more. We're talking about big volume, right? So you make sure when you put a menu out, everything needs to be costed, and because also the staff that we have there, which is great stuff, but you want to make sure that recipe cards are there, that they can follow the standard and so on, right?
They are people, yes.
Right. So especially in our production area, like recipe card and production sheet, these one are very, very important, because also it gives us an opportunity to check the production, the amount of food we need, the wastage, and so on, right? So it's very detailed, the planning that needs to be done. So when I'm trying to say, when you change a menu, also the execution, then all the production sheet needs to be changed, right? So the quantity needs to be adjusted. So it's a lot of work, right? So I hope I answer your question.
Next question.
Next question. So you're talking about the sweets menu, right?
Yes.
Well, when it comes to the menu change, so the menu change of sweets go automatically with the clubs. So then the last season, sweets was changed the menu 4 times. Right. So, but when we change the menu, we don't change 100%, right? Like the core items needs to be there, right? So
my question is, how many items inside menu, and the next, what is percent you change during this season?
Yeah, so the items, the sweets menu, we have sections, right? So, and every time, and then you have the menu packages, right? So, it's a little bit, the menu, the sweet owners, right? They need to order within 48 hours, right? You need to pre-order. If they skip the pre-ordering, which most of our owners, suite owners, that most of them they're very diligent of that. They pre-order, right? And then we have a small version of the menu, which is running on the game itself.
Yeah.
It's called a game day menu, right? So before we start talking how many items, just gonna tell you the structure of the menu, right? So we have a la carte menu, which we are gonna tell you how many items inside, which is 48-hour pre-order game, right? So after that, you have packages, like you have 3 menu packages. Also, this is goes on 48 hours prior. Then if you skip the 48 hours or pre-ordering, then you have a same day, a game day menu package, and a small a la carte, which is run during the game. It's called a game day a la carte menu. Okay. So this is basically the formula. Then when it comes to the menu, like when it comes to the menu items a la carte, so we have sections, right? So this year we had the fan favorite, which he introduced, is more arena fare, where you find all, you have all your mac and cheese, you have your hot dog bar, you have your fried chicken, you have your pretzels, you have your cheese platter and charcuterie, right? So then you have the fan favorite is this one. Then you have the chilled reception, which is a little bit more upscale, seafood inside, right? Salmon, crab legs, smoked, all the smoked platter which we put this year, right? So chilled platter, fan favorite. Then you move to the main course, right? Which is, of course, I forgot to say all of the snacks, right? The snacks always are there. The popcorn, the pretzels, and other stuff that we put inside. Then the main course, we always, is a very beef-oriented, right? So short rib, prime rib. This year also we added a section which is more like kind of a steakhouse fare, which we put like dry aged inside. We put tenderloin, we put tomahawk, right, which was carved in a table. Sweet definitely is a high level service there, right? And then we have desserts, right? So all together, the menu together is about, if I recall properly, between the snacks, between the chilled platter, between the fan favorite, the main course, and the dessert. These are the main 5 main categories, about 45 items, right? So this is overall, of course. And then within this, the core menu, then you create the packages.
Yes.
Right? Within this menu, you create the packages, which is like the packages, as I told you, that you pre-order, and same time you have the packages for the game day packages, right? And then also, I didn't mention the pizzas. We have also pizzas, because on suites we have a pizza oven, and the pizza during the game is the most is a big seller, right? So the pizza on the game day. Right?
May I ask you, if it's possible, what's the main item of food in arena game?
Well, you're talking about on suites?
Separate concession and sweets. I suppose hot dogs and concessions, or
Yes.
burgers.
Yeah, hot dogs, popcorn,
And
burgers. Yeah,
Burgers.
these are on the top 3 items, right?
No,
So go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, I interrupt you.
No problem.
No,
this
I
one.
mean, I mean,
Go ahead,
in
go
the
ahead.
suits, the thing is, you change menu, and it's difficult to say exactly what's the main item.
Well,
because,
no, in suites, the one they sell the most, for example, like depends, right? Because, for example, like we sell a lot of, we have this short rib, braised short rib in the suites. Because in the suites is more a meal, right? It's not a snack thing.
Yes.
So the guests, they go there, right? No, like, the guests, the customer, they go there pre-game, they enjoy their meal, I can tell you, right? They go, it's not like the concession, like, like what is basically what sells the most in the suites is the packages, right? So the packages, basically you have 2 snacks, you have a chiller platter, you have a main course, you have a side, a side with a veggie, and then you got the dessert. So the most sellable is the packages. They get everything together, right? And they pre-order, right? So it's like a set menu, a buffet menu, right? Then on the game day, the game day menu.
Excuse me, I interrupted.
Go ahead.
Because it's an important question. Can customers gather own packages?
Yeah, we have the pick and choose option, but the pick and choose, we call the pick and choose, but basically the preset, we call Edmonton barbecue package. This is the most, whether we have the brisket inside, we have the fried chicken, this is one of the most popular one, right?
Okay.
Right, so they have, to answer your question, yes, we have a pick and choose, make your own menu option, but it's not the most sellable items, but is there as an option for the suite owners to customize their menu. And most of the time, they want us make the menu from there because like the suites, there is like a suite receptionist that only look after. It's a team. It's not only one. There's 2-3 of them that they answer the phone, make menu, send to the client, get the order, send out to the kitchen. Suites is a simple but in the same time complex operation because it's a big volume, right? So we're talking about our suites. We are about 700-800 guests. We have every game, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's very well organized, because when it comes to the menu, as you know, you have the cold section of the menu, you have the hot section. So the colds needs to be in the room on pre-game, and then after, before the games, it's like you expedite, you send the food as the guests arrive. You don't put everything in the room before they're coming because for quality, right? So, which we care a lot about quality. So when it comes to suite, the packages, as the menu is done, like the snacks, the chill reception, and the main course, they come in 3 different times. Right? This is everything before pot drop.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Right.
it's interesting to know, and I agree. This is very important. The main point is quality. Yeah.
The quality. And as I said, because we're lucky that we have all these kitchens, so we have, because as I said, I heard that some of the arena, the suites, they don't have any kitchen. So, and then they have a suites like 20, 30 suites. So I can imagine in that case, they still able to deliver the food, but the food needs to be cooked in main kitchen. In that case, put in a box and bring it up. In our case, the only things go in a cold chiller fridge, which is the cheese platter and the fish platter and cold cut platter. All the rest, according to the menu they choose, is cooking in suite when the game is happening, right? So
Thank you. I appreciate your so interesting answer.
It's very, very, very interesting. It's very interesting.
For me, one of the main question what I wanted to ask you about how to survive without events, between events, when arena closed. I don't mean during COVID, not. I mean during normal time.
Rogers Place, like you have a certain arena in Canada that are very busy across the year, right? So Toronto, for example, is one of the Canada Center is one of the busiest arena in North America. So we also are very busy because, first of all, Rogers plays the Oilers OEG, which is Oilers Entertainment Group. They have two hockey team.
Yes,
right?
I know.
So we have the Oilers, which is the NHL, and then we have the Oil King, which is our WHL, right? So, and the calendar, basically you have a couple of times during the season that you have a double header, like you have an Oilers in the morning, you have the Oil King, the junior team, and then you have but usually they are alternative day they're playing. So this is additional business for us. In addition to that, then we have they call the Live Nations, right? Live Nation shows, like you have concert, right? Last year also they have like public speaking. We had the Oprah, we have Michelle Obama, this kind of shows, right? You have the Cirque du Soleil, you have the Harlem Globetrotter for the basket. Just to close, we not only have the hockey, right? So we have two teams of hockey and we have live events. And basically, to answer your question, as fully is altogether there is 2 months that there is not many events, which is mid-July and August. This is where.
Look, how many fans got the second team?
Not many. Like depends. Like average about 5,000-6,000.
5,000-6,000.
Right, 5,000-6,000. We don't open the entire arena for during that period of time. But there is a few games, like about 4 games along the junior team season, which they have about 10-12 because it's like they have like a teamed night. When there is a teamed night where they attract more friends and family, but the junior team is getting more and more popularity, especially for the children and the families. And they have very aggressive marketing, especially on ticketing are very low to attract more people and family, as I said, and the demand is growing year by year, right? So I've been 2 seasons there. I could see that the Oil King team is always getting more and more customers, but we always average between 4,000 to 6,000. Right?
Do you have delivering outside arena?
No, we don't deliver outside of the arena. We're talking about the food. If we deliver food cater outside, no, not really. So this year we did, for example, we had the NHL. We had the NHL playoff, and because we're in a bubble, it was just a case that and we have like 12 teams on one arena. Some of the teams they went to practice around the city of Edmonton. In that case, yes, we cater outside, but at the moment we don't do catering. But the arena is very active to more explore business opportunity during the off season for big event, for company, and so on.
The last question. Some restaurants continue to work between games. Casino,
yes.
Restaurants.
Yeah. Okay. So most the rest of we have Studio 99. Studio 99 is open. It opens. I think is
every day.
2 hours. 2 hours. Not every day. When is the game? Only game. 2 hours before the game, and then stay open 1 hour after the game is finished. But when there's no game, everything is closed.
Everything.
Right? Everything is closed. But for us, as you when you came, like when you have a game, for example, you have 2 games in a week, right? Or sometimes you have 3 games in a week. So you have also a prep day, right? So you have like you need to do like the market list, the delivery. We call loading day, right? Where you load all your fridge, because we work with all fresh produce. There's not much frozen stuff, and like quality is really important for us. So we pay a lot of attention when it comes to the prep day, right? So the prep day is basically we have a small prep day with a delivery day. We are attached to a small prep. Then you have a following for a full prep day, and then you have a game day. So basically you have 2-day prep for a game, right? So one game is 3 days of work behind. So if you have 2 games in a week, right? So week is already over. 2 days game, then 2 days game, right? Sometimes it's also difficult to rotate the people with days off and everything. But for us behind the scene, there is work to put together to put up all the food for game day. And then when the game is up, 2 hours is finished, right? So like it's amazing because you do so much work. 2 days of prep for a game, and then when the game is there, if you're looking at the operation, it's not more than 2 hours, right? You have 1 hour pre-game, then you have 2 intermission, 20 minutes.
And
Right.
the day game, how many cooks work in Arena?
As a database, I have as a pair, like in my system, we have a system of scheduling. So I have 180 cooks, 180,
You said,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So then when it comes to, when we do the schedule, then, right? So we have prep days and we have game day. On our prep days, average depends on the game. If it's a game A, B, or C. So we do from 80 to 90 chefs on duty that they do the prep. Then when it's the game day, between 100, 110. So this is what we got.
Well, it's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of and I tell you, the system is there, and we have a dedicated person just for looking after the scheduling. Like we have a sous chef that is sitting next to me. He has an office next to my office that he does all the scheduling, all the payroll, because it needs to be. Is a full-time job, right? The sous chef, literally.
I
This is
understand.
very important. This is very important. This is very important for you as well when you do your seminars and talking about what's happening. And the management of the scheduling in Arena is very important. And sometimes for example, in Canada, we have great staff, great labor force here, but our staff, they have different availability, right? So there is someone can work in one day, cannot work another day. You need to have always a backup plan. You need to have someone literally behind the computer and the phone. And we have an availability sheet, which is Antoni's availability 3 days a week, Giovanni's availability, Dimitri's availability, and then based on this availability, you do the schedule. You need to be very accurate because you cannot take a chance that during the game, then you don't have the people, right? So it's very important. We call an sous chef admin, which does scheduling, right? They do scheduling and update all the data in the computer and so on. This is is most important than me, trust me. Right? So we have a dedicated sous chef to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are so many tasty food options to choose from at Scotiabank Arena, but something you may not know is that we actually have 5 unique dine-in options. Today, we're taking you into our kitchens to show you what the restaurants at Scotiabank Arena have to offer. I'm here with Chef Zelinsky, culinary director here at Scotiabank Arena. Okay, Chef, first and foremost, what are the premium clubs that are here in the building?
We actually have 5 different spaces in the building where we do hosting. The Share Club being our most sort of premium or nightclub style. Then we have the Chairman's Club. Platinum Club is sort of our premium fine dining French style service. Scotia Club, you're part of the action. It's open view to the arena. And then of course the Hot Stove, which is famous for its steaks.
Okay, now how many chefs are working at the kitchens on any given game or event night?
On a busy day like today, on a club day or a game day, we would have about 45 to 50 cooks in this kitchen.
Wow. that we have. Because I've heard we have one, I just don't know what exactly it entails.
It's a very unique program where we actually get to go hand select the steaks at the source. We have a very long-time season seat holder for the Leafs who allows us that privilege, and we're the only ones in the city who have the right to do that. It's all local beef, and we get to pick the best ones.
Крис, есть ли у вас какие-нибудь формальные стандарты для хостес? Какие-нибудь документы, которые определяют, как хостес должны работать?
Yes, of course. We have standardized manuals that every year we have training at the beginning of the year where we roll out the standards, and that is a real critical piece of maybe one of the most important days of the year is the day that we explain to everybody what the standard is going to be. And when you're talking about a group of people who have worked in the building for a long time, they've done things their way for a long time. You always have to think about how you're going to implement a change and have it stick and have it be effective. And quite often, it's doesn't happen on the first try. You have to, keep reminding people of what you've said. That is why we have managers, and that is why we have supervisors. But it's the biggest part of that whole process is really how you sell it to them. So if I go and stand in front of the group of hostesses and I say to them, we're going to change this rule, everything that was black is now white. Well, I've not offered any explanation of why it's all white. I've just told them that it went from black to being white. And that's what bad managers do, is they give people information that is very, without context, So I might be having the same conversation. I say, what was black will now be white. It will be white because we found that the fans prefer white, and they prefer this because we have seen these three things that have happened over the year. We also know that we've gone to other arenas, we've seen how people are doing this, and we've seen people being successful with this idea. And if you give them that story and you give them the knowledge behind the story, then most will buy in. You're going to find you're always going to have a couple that are going to be more challenging to work with, but you can't just make rules without giving an explanation of why you changed them or why you created them in the first place. People are naturally instinctual, and they will default to whatever they did before, unless you make it clear why you've made the change.
Перед началом сезона, за сколько у вас начинается обучение для новых хостес? За 2 месяца перед началом сезона?
Yeah, it's about we don't like to get too far ahead, because if you go too far ahead, they'll forget everything you said. So it's about a month out, because we have to actually have the menus done and in place, because at the same time that we would have this conversation with them about standards, we would also show them the new menu and the new menu items.
Sounds reasonable, yes.
Yeah, and then we would have the chefs come out and speak to the new dishes. I mean, typically we don't need to re-explain the older dishes, but for the new dishes, it's really important that they understand how to serve it, how to answer the questions about the food too, because they are our representative. We don't have a chef in every single suite. They need to be able to explain what's in a dish. If somebody has an allergy, they need to understand that. They need to know how to react if somebody cannot eat something, and what they could do as an alternative. Just like a server in a restaurant, they have to have that knowledge. And they are our eyes on the world out there. So it's really important that we time those two things together. Here's your new standards. Here is the food we're going to be serving. We give them a booklet that has all that information in it. And we also make them sign off that they have read every part of the document. Because at the end of the day, if they decide they're not going to, if they're just going to throw it on the table and act like it's not their problem, we have something to hold them accountable to.
Во время обучения есть ли у хостес дегустация новых блюд? Пробуют ли они новые блюда?
Absolutely, yeah. We would make sure that they get a chance to try everything. Obviously, it's, we encourage them to take pictures of everything as they go through so that they can remember what they look like. So they can, even before they walk into the suite, they can imagine how they're going to set it up so that it looks great, put things in the correct order, displays, all that sort of stuff. And, sometimes the food doesn't get to the suite. The hot food may not get to the suite until most of the guests are there. So, the host or somebody who's in the suite might be there for half an hour and they might say, oh, where's the food? And it gives them an opportunity to talk about what's coming, how they're, what they're going to have as their full dinner, and actually get them a little excited about what's happening. So, knowledge is king all the way across.
У вас каждая ложа имеет свою хостес?
In Scotiabank Arena, we do have a suite in every. We have a hostess in every suite. We don't do that in every building. We don't do that at TFC games, for instance. And the reason it really comes down to the spend. So if I think about what the average spend of a guest in a suite at a hockey game is extremely premium. You're probably getting $100 a person minimum. During a hockey game, you might have a few that are below that, but then for a soccer game, it might be more like 40 or 50. So we'll still offer and they also soccer games typically are during the day, a lot of them. So the spend isn't really there. People don't tend to drink as much. They're not as much about eating dinner per se. They might be more about snacking or having a hot dog or whatever it might be. So typically for a TFC games or for a Marlies game, which is our junior hockey team, they would have probably one suite for every one hostess for every two suites. In Scotiabank Arena, we have one for every suite. We have tested doing it other ways, and we found that the service level, because of what we charge, we really can't give people that level of service. It's people deserve better than that.
После прохождения обучения сдают ли хостес какие-нибудь тесты или экзамены?
Are they tested on the rules? And absolutely, yeah. You know what? I mean, it's hard to get together formal tests very often, but it's more of a, today, what we typically do, and we do this not just in the suites, we do this in the quick service and the restaurants, is we do kind of a day where we pick a topic. So today might be presentation, and then we go through and we look at how everybody has presented it, see if we've hit the mark. We might do a test on alcohol service. Are we doing it properly? Are people waiting too long to get a drink, or are we over serving? Are we preparing? Are we serving it using the right equipment and tools, glassware, etc. But it's very hard to do like a sweeping test of it. We prefer to kind of break it down by specific standard, and then go after it. So that day we'll just do a standard like on that. You might come across some other things in the course of doing that test, but at the end of the day, by doing that, they know you're paying attention. They know that we are watching and that we are going to make sure that everything is right up to the standard that we promised, because we promised it to the guest.
Какой объем документа, сколько страниц в стандартах и правилах, которые вы разработали для хостес?
It's about 40 pages, and in there you would have, it would include, like, the menu would be in there, right? It would include, clothing, dress, hygiene, all that sort of good stuff. It would include, company rules around, it would include smart alcohol service, of course. We do have a standard that we have to keep for that. And all those things, take up pages. So typically our, what we hand out to people is a pretty comprehensive booklet that has everything in it that they need to know. And again, it comes down to this. If we have shown you this, and we have told you this, and we have taught you this, if you cannot maintain these standards, then we don't need a whole lot of reasons to let you go, right? And, that book is the Bible.
Я думаю, что это абсолютно правильный путь.
Well, you can't be everywhere at once either, so, you're going to have a certain number of managers on the floor looking at it, but they can't be in every suite at every moment. They're not going to be there for every interaction. They're not going to be there, and they can't catch all the mistakes either. So we're trying to create an environment where mistakes are not being made. That's the most important part. We're not trying to find mistakes. We are trying to teach them to not make mistakes. And the culture is, and have the culture be, this is a team effort, and the standard is high, and sometimes that includes things like recognition, making sure that people are doing a great job, that you recognize them in front of the peers, and you recognize the reasons why, and usually the reasons why are associated with, great service, or being fun at work, or being, food safety, managing your food safety, and just, there's a whole lot of different things, criteria that we can judge people on. But we find that the recognition gets people engaged when it comes to, doing the right thing. So, it's not just coming to work. The expectation is you are part of the culture, and you are going to, and we're all going to win because the culture is strong.
Насколько большая твоя команда?
So, for the suite side or for?
And suite side separately and totally.
So, in total, for the culinary side, there's about 300 cooks. There's about 19 chefs, executive chefs, sous chefs. Then we have on the sort of front of house side, so that includes restaurant servers and quick service servers. We would have roughly, it's about 2,500. Yeah, it's a lot of people. Then we add the suites in there. We have about 300 suite hostesses. They don't all work every night, but about 300, a team of about 300. And in that kitchen, you'd have another 20 or so cooks.
Я восхищен.
Yeah. I'm excited. You know what? I love it. It's every day is a new challenge. It's not. It doesn't get boring. It never gets boring. Let's put it that way.
Огромное спасибо, Крис, за очень интересный рассказ. Я же желаю тебе всего самого наилучшего. Мы послушали с вами мнение, интервью людей, которые работают в условиях очень жесткой конкуренции, где клуб, арена, по большому счету, на самовыживании. Сколько они заработают, так они смогут быть успешными и качественно, хорошо развиваться. Приходится максимально эффективно использовать все инструменты, которые могут использовать и менеджеры по управлению процессами, что-то такое креативить и придумывать максимально эффективные инструменты по управлению людьми, как правильно подходить к этому вопросу. Отдельно была лекция, и я считаю, что всегда надо отталкиваться от того, какую ты имеешь команду, каких людей привлекать для того, чтобы исполнять все задуманное менеджером, управляющему, неважно чем. Как шеф-повар может влиять на прибавочную стоимость, Как сделать так, чтобы управлять эмоциями болельщиков, которые приходят, и не просто эмоциями от чего-то одного, громкой музыки или световых каких-то эффектов, видеоряда и так далее. Наполняет ощущение все сигналы, вся информация, которую человек получает на арене, и, конечно же, это вкусовые рецепторы. Как человеку нравится то, что он потребляет, при том, что, надо сказать, цены на аренах отличаются от городских довольно значительную сторону, высокую сторону. Цены заметно больше на спортивных аренах, и надо сказать, что болельщики не всегда могут быть довольны, что тот же сэндвич, условно, на каком-нибудь фудкорте, он может купить намного дешевле, и на арене он за это платит большие деньги. И для того, чтобы соответствовала цена качеству, шеф-повара и весь остальной персонал максимально наполняют это качество тех услуг, которые они предоставляют болельщикам. Мне видится очень важная тема, о которой мы, наверное, еще будем возвращаться. Те люди, которые участвуют в управлении ареной, участвуют в управлении процессами получения дохода, извлечения дохода от деятельности арены, должны задумываться над теми процессами, которые они выстраивают, как это все работает и как это сделать максимально эффективно. На этом я хочу пожелать всем удачи. Приглашаю к просмотру следующих лекций. Следующая лекция будет о спортивной журналистике. Тема тоже очень большая, интересная, глубокая. Надеюсь, вам понравится.